Previously on Imperium, the bloodied Scourge managed to defeat Squad Martellus and avenge their fallen comrades. Now, Librarian Rufius Vespater stalks the corridors of the Necron crypts in search of his battle brothers. So, starting with Space Marines turn 1, I'm going to begin by moving Rufius 6 inches towards the Scarabs at the back here. And in this issue, we're being introduced to the Psychic phase. So I'm going to attempt the Smite ability with the Librarian. So I'll be rolling 2 dice, looking for a total of 5+. Getting an 8, so Smite is successful. And then the closest visible enemy unit will be suffering D3 mortal wounds, so let's roll that. So 1 mortal wound. And then on to the shooting phase. So looking for a 3+ to hit. Getting a 4. And looking for a 3+ to wound. Getting a 6, so the Scarabs will be taking 1 more wound. And now, as Rufius is only 3 inches away, I can just pile in instead of charging. And we can go straight on to the fight phase. So Rufius with his Force Sword has 4 attacks, looking for a 3+ to hit. Getting 3 hits. And looking for a 3+ to wound. So 3 wounds. And the Force Sword has an AP of -3. And the Canoptek Scarabs already have a save roll of 6+, so they won't be able to make the save. And the Force Sword does D3 damage, so let's roll them. So that is 2, 4, 5 damage. But the closest Scarab only has 2 wounds remaining, so he's definitely dead. And that is the end of Rufius' attacks. So now the Scarabs can pile in. And each swarm has 4 attacks, so I'll be rolling 8 dice, looking for 4+. Let's remove them. So 4 hits. And we're looking for a 5+ to wound. So no wounds. So that is the end of Space Marines turn 1, onto Necrons turn 1. And we'll begin by moving Harkhun Rakhtet 6 inches towards Rufius. Making sure that he has a clear line of sight. And also during this movement phase, I will fall back with the Scarab so that the Royal Warden Harkhun Rakhtet can make a shot at the Librarian. 10. So we can move them all the way around here. And now we can commence the shooting. And as the Librarian Rufius is only 12 inches away, which is less than half the range of the Royal Warden's Relic Gauss Blaster, he is able to double his attacks, so I'll be rolling 4 dice for him, looking for a 3+ to hit. So 2 hits, and looking for a 3+ to wound. So 2 wounds, and they have an AP of -2, so Rufius is looking for a 5+ to save. And making 2 saves, getting those lucky Zorp 6s. Let's attempt to charge with Harkhun Rakhtet and see what happens. Looking for a 12. Failing, so unsuccessful charge. And as the Scarabs fell back, they can't do anything. So that is the end of Necron's turn 1, onto Space Marines turn 2. And I'll move Rufius towards the Scarabs again, staying outside of engagement range. So now let's use his Psychic ability and see what his Smite can do. Looking for a 5. So making that successfully. So now let's roll a D3. Getting a 2. And those Scarabs are the closest, they'll be taking the wounds. So now let's see what his bolt pistol can do. Looking for a 3+ to hit. Only getting a 1, so no hits. So now let's just move on, pile him in, and then get his Force Sword into action. So 4 attacks, looking for a 3+ to hit. Only getting 1 hit. And looking for a 3+ to wound. Only getting a 2, so no wounds. So now the Scarabs can fight back. And with their 4 attacks each, we're looking for 4+ to hit. quite a lot of hits there. And we're looking for 5+ to wound. So only 1 wound. And with no AP, Rufius is looking for a 3+ to save. Only getting a 1, so he'll be taking a wound. So he's now down to 4 wounds remaining, and that is the end of Space Marines turn 2, on to Necrons turn 2. And just like their last turn, I'll begin by falling back with the Scarabs. And then I'll move Harkhun Rakhtet over, but keep him behind the Scarabs. And make sure that he is within half range so that he can double his attacks. So now let's move on to the shooting and see what Harkhun Rakhtet can do. So again, 4 shots looking for 3+ to hit. 3 hits. And also at this point I forgot, at the start of the Necron's turn, because of their living metal, they regain 1 wound. So that Scarab swarm is back up to 3 wounds remaining. So now Harkhun's looking for 3+ to wound. So 3 wounds, and his Gauss Blaster has an AP of -2. So Rufius is looking for 5+ to save, making 2 saves, but he'll be sustaining 1 wound. And the Gauss Blast has a damage of 2. So it'll be taking his total up to 3, meaning he's got 2 wounds remaining. And I think tactically it's probably best to leave Harkhun Rakhtet where he is. So I'll just end the Necron's turn there. So that is the end of Necron's turn 2, onto Space Marines turn 3.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
The November Patreon draw has been done and has been announced, so congratulations again to Eldarian. You are the proud new sponsor of the Librarian featured in this episode. If, like Eldarian, you would like to be a winner, then be sure to check out the Patreon. I'll leave the link in the description. Let's get back to the game. Let's begin by moving Rufius forward. And then we'll see if he can smite the Scarabs. So looking for a 5. Only getting a 3, so smite unsuccessful this turn. So let's see if he can inflict a wound with his bolt pistol. Looking for a 3+ to hit. Getting a 5. And looking for a 3+ to wound. Only getting a 1, so no wound inflicted from the bolt pistol. And he's currently 4 inches away, so he can't pile in, so he's going to have to make a charge. So let's see if we can roll a 4. Getting a 6, so making that. So now with his 4 sword, he has 4 attacks, looking for a 3+ to hit. So 3 hits. And looking for a 3+ to wound. So 2 wounds. And with its AP of -3, the Scarabs can't make the save, so they'll be taking the damage. And that is D3 damage each. So 4 damage in total. So we'll be saying goodbye to 1 more Scarab Swarm. And that'll be the end of Space Marines turn 3, onto Necrons turn 3. Once again, we'll start by falling back with the Scarab Swarm. And they've gone right back up near where they started. And then as Harkhun Rakhtet is close enough to pile in for the fight phase, I'll leave him where he is and just go straight onto the shoot phase. So he's definitely within half range. So I'll be doubling his attacks again. So 4 shots looking for a 3+ to hit. Only getting 1 hit. And looking for a 3+ to wound. No wounds. So as I said, I'll pile in. Rufius has only got 2 wounds remaining. So although this is a bit of a risky move, it might pay off. So the Royal Warden with his 3 attacks is looking for a 3+ to hit. Getting 3 hits. And looking for a 3+ to wound. Getting 1 wound. So Rufius is looking for a 3+ to save. Making the save, so he won't be taking any wounds this turn. So now he can fight back. And he has 4 attacks with his 4 sword, looking for a 3+ to hit. All 4 hit. And looking for a 4+ to wound. So 2 wounds with an AP of -3. So the Raw Warden is looking for 6s to save. Not making the saves. And the Force Sword does D3 damage. So he'll be inflicting 3 wounds. Meaning that Harkhun Rakhtet is down to 1 wound remaining. And that is the end of Necron turn 3 onto Space Marine turn 4. And as he's already in engagement, he won't be moving, so we'll just go straight into the fight phase again. So again, Rufius has 4 attacks with his Force Sword, looking for 3+ to hit. 2 hits. And looking for a 4+ to wound. So no wounds. And that means that Harkhun Rakhtet can now attempt to fight back. So with his 3 attacks, looking for a 3+ to hit. 1 hit. And looking for a 3+ to wound. So making the wound. And Rufius needing a 3+ to save. Making the save. No wounds this turn. And that is the end of Space Marines turn 4 onto Necron's turn. And I'll begin by moving the Scarab Swarm at the back here, but leaving them outside of engagement range. And Harkhun Rakhtet is in engagement, so what I'll do is fall back with him, the full 6 inches. And then I'll pile in with the Scarabs and see what they can do to Rufius. And again, as it is Necron's turn, with living metal, Harkhun will be regaining 1 wound. So he is now on 2 wounds, meaning he has 2 remaining. So the Scarab Swarm with their 4 attacks are looking for a 4+ to hit. So 2 hits. And looking for a 5+ to wound. Getting 1 wound and no AP, so Rufius is looking for a 3+ to save. Making the save. So now Rufius will fight back. So his 4 attacks with his Force Sword, looking for 3+ to hit. Only getting 2 hits. And looking for 3+ to wound. Getting 1 wound. And the Scarab Swarm are unable to make a save roll. So they'll be taking D3 damage. So 2 wounds for them. And that is the end of the Necron's turn. On to Space Marine's turn. And we'll begin by seeing whether Rufius can finish off this Scarab Swarm. So again, 4 attacks with his Force Sword, looking for a 3+ to hit. 3 hits. And looking for 3+ to wound. 1 wound. And that's going to do D3 damage as the Scarabs can't make the save roll. So 3 damage, which means this Scarab Swarm is removed from the game. And that is the end of the Space Marine's turn, onto Necron's turn. And as it's a new turn, Harkhun Rakhtet will be getting 1 wound back because of living metal. And he'll be going straight into the shooting phase and getting double the attacks as he's within half range. So 4 attacks looking for a 3+ to hit. So 3 hits and looking for a 3+ to wound. So 2 wounds with an AP of -2. So Rufius is looking for 5+ to save. Not making the saves. And as each wound does 2 damage, he would be taking 4 wounds, but he only has 2 remaining. So that is Rufius defeated. Harkhun Rakhtet is victorious. I hope you enjoyed the penultimate episode of Imperium for the year. The December Patreon draw is going to be for the 3 Scarab Swarms that were featured in this episode. So if you'd like to be in with a chance to become the sponsor and eventual owner of them, then go check out my Patreon, link in the description. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.